Hey guys, it's Matt here with Guidance Please and Stronger Minds, High Level Mastermind on Facebook, and it's getting to be top of the hour. Welcome to today's webinar, How to Build and Scale a Business Using Passive Online Marketing Techniques. So you guys are in the right place if you guys consider yourself to be an entrepreneur and you guys make a living online, if you guys desire to make a living online, if you guys have digital products, info products, even physical products that you sell online, specifically digital products or an online course. If you have one of those, you want to get it out to the world and turn that into your next big online empire, well, of course, 5 to 10xing your current income, then you're the right person for this group if you fall into that category. So in the next 60 minutes, I'm going to show you guys what a real funnel is and why your current perception of what that funnel is holding you back from making thousands. In fact, I'm going to walk you guys through the process. I'm going to break it down individually, piece by piece, and show you what the parts of that system are. So there shouldn't be any questions, but if you have any, I'm going to open up that at the end of this. So I'm going to show you how to look at funneling as a way to simplify, automate, and scale your business, how to get more leads and what to do with them once you have them. That's part of the funnel, and how to keep them loyal and returning back to you. I'm also going to show you guys how to turn a profit in months rather than years while growing your business to $20,000 a month, $50,000 a month, maybe even $100,000 a month. It just depends on how far you're willing to take this. I'm going to show you guys the only 5 things that you'll ever need to know in order to grow any business, and I'm going to show you guys how to get your clients coming back to you week after week while consistently increasing your average customer value. I hope that sounds like a good deal. By the end of this webinar, you guys will know what it takes to set a foundation for a scalable business. You guys are going to understand the key principles that apply to every successful business ever made, from AT&T to Apple, down to something as simple as selling online tennis coaching. You keep everything simple, you automate it, and then you scale it. So here's the deal. There's nothing for sale. You guys can put your guards down, but I do have a very cool gift for you if you guys stick around to the end of this webinar after I teach you guys all this cool stuff about how to build your business. Now, about 2 or 3 weeks ago, a friend of mine, he's actually a client of mine as well, he did a quick launch, what I would consider a quick launch. It's also called a flash sale, and he did it over 3 days, made $3,000 extra dollars, and he did that partly to prove to himself and a couple other people, just to kind of get, kind of a shove it in your face kind of a thing, like, hey, yeah, look at this, you really can make money online. But what I did was I got together with him and we broke that down step by step, did a case study on that, recorded the videos, got you a transcript, all that crap. I'm going to give you guys the report. I did a case study report on that, and I'm going to give you guys that at the end of this webinar, along with the notes from this webinar and the handouts. So if you stick around, I'm going to give you guys that. Again, sit back, chill out. There's nothing for sale. So let's move on. Does this in any way sound like you? Do you guys wake up day after day uninspired, hating life, wondering why others can make it in the online space, but you can't? Do you feel like you put in countless hours of work that seem absolutely worthless, like you're just kind of spinning your wheels, like you're going nowhere? Do you consider yourself to be that guy that pours your heart and soul into your business to drive traffic back to your website, and you still get 0 results and can't figure out why? That's the worst part. Are you constantly angry and frustrated because nothing you do ever works, but it seems to work great for others? Do you feel like you're drowning, like you're constantly gasping for air, and nothing you ever do helps to get you closer to your goal? Do you just not know where to go to get the paying clients that put the food on the table day after day? All right? Bottom line, are you so fed up with your online business not making money that you're ready to call it quits and just go find a real job? Everybody's been there. We understand that feeling. And I can't tell you how many people I've talked to that are in this exact same position. And you want to know what I tell them? Here's what I tell them. I tell them that they're not alone, okay? That it's not their fault. Thankfully, these are all just symptoms of a much bigger problem, okay? They don't just... They just don't have a good strategy. That's the main problem that I see. So many people jump in without a plan, and it messes them up. It messes them up big time. The real problem is that you haven't implemented the right changes or the shifts that I'm about to show you. These principles on their own, they're very simple. Okay, on their own, they might get you some results, but eventually they end up fizzling out. In fact, you've probably heard of them. But if you use them in connection with each other, it's kind of like compounding interest in its 20th year of exponential growth. Okay, you use them in conjunction with each other, in association with each other, and you will experience an exotic eruption of leads and sales that you guys can't control. They'll just be coming out of the woodwork. Okay, I promise you, you do what I tell you to do on this webinar, you'll be making customers out of thin air. You'll wake up in the morning, checking your inbox, and you're going to have hundreds of dollars worth of sales overnight. Okay? You guys will know at the end of this webinar how simple it is to set up an automated system or a sales funnel. You'll be asking yourself, why didn't I do this earlier? And don't let the word funnel get you guys all buggered up, okay? If you guys want to simplify and automate, if you guys want to scale your business, this is how you're going to do it. So please, I need you guys to keep an open mind as we move forward with this business, okay? So here's the thing. After working with over 257 clients, documented clients, my wife and I, we found some commonalities. We found some very solid commonalities between the different businesses that we've worked with the different businesses that we've built. And after watching like every guru's course on the market, because I've been around doing this for a while, I've met a lot of people, I've seen all their stuff, I found some serious gaps in the educational system that's out there. I found the holes. I found what wasn't working, and I bridged that gap with these 5 shifts. What I'm about to talk to is that gap, okay? And that's what we're going to be going over here in just a moment. Okay, real quick, a little bit about me. My name is Matthew King. For those of you who don't know me, I built my first profitable business while deployed in Afghanistan in 2011, literally working, sleeping out of a metal shipping container with bad internet. Half the time it didn't work. The other half the time there's like bombs going off. The other 90% of the time I was off working doing something else. So I really didn't have a ton of time to build my business, which is kind of how I got a lot of notoriety around this. A lot of people have really caught on to this story. But after I got done, I came back, worked with my wife. We've worked in copywriting and funnel consulting with a lot of businesses, and we've helped successfully work with over 257 clients to build profitable marketing funnels for them, which is where these shifts that I was talking about earlier actually came from, and I'll talk to you a little bit about that in just a second. I also had the opportunity to share the stage with Jeff Walker of Product Launch Formula in 2013, sharing these exact stories. That was a really cool experience because, well, he found out about the story and then he invited me out. This is a picture of me on the left with my wife. We were able to take a month off over last summer, head up to North Michigan. That's where we're at here. Got my Army hat thing going on there, and then up in the upper right corner is me. Well, that's actually Jeff Walker down in the left side of the picture, and then down in the bottom right is our mastermind out at Traffic and Conversion Summit. It was actually earlier this year, I believe, and that's Eric over on the far left. I'm going to talk about him coming up here in a few minutes, talk a little bit about how we were able to build up a course on lead generation. Okay, so discovering the 5 shifts. Okay, guys, all this 5 shift crap that I keep talking about, it's not like it was just there. It's not like you go to a bookstore or go to Barnes & Noble and find a book on the 5 shifts of business, you know. I mean, is the stuff out there? Yeah. You know, have you heard all this stuff before? Yeah. You know what? It's there. It's there for your taking. But if you don't have the emphasis on the right syllable, then you're not going to understand it. You're not going to get it. That's what the problem is. There's so much noise out there in the educational space that you don't know where to put the emphasis. And that's the problem that I found as I was going through this. But as I worked with so many different people, as I built my own businesses, as I built my businesses in Afghanistan, I didn't know what I was doing right until we had done a whole bunch of those, after I had failed a bunch of times, after I had worked with hundreds of clients. Eventually we figured it out, and they became the 5 shifts. These 5 shifts are those commonalities that I've been talking about. They're those things where if you can inject these principles, these 5 shifts into your business and make sure that your funnel is associated with each and every one of these, that the shifts are associated with your funnel, then you will have a successful business. There's no way that you can't if you inject these shifts into your business. So that's what we're going to talk about today. We're going to talk about those 5 key shifts that you have to use in your business in order to get to 5 figures or 6 figures a month. I'm going to walk you guys through all 5 of those right now. Okay, the first one is that you absolutely need an automated and unstoppable flow of leads. Okay, if you guys don't have that, you're not going to go very far. You have to have leads coming in from somewhere. If you guys stop finding leads, your business dries up. Here's the thing with the Army. They have a lead generation tool. It's called a recruiting station. You guys have probably heard of those. If the recruiting stations go out of business, what happens? guess what? You stop getting leads into the army dries up, and then there's nobody there because there's always somebody on the top side retiring. There's always somebody going away. Okay? So in a world where the odds are stacked against you, you've got to have a plan. You need to know what to do in order to get those leads, and you need to create an automated system. Otherwise, the same thing's going to happen to you. Your business is going to dry up. We don't want that. Okay? So take a proactive approach. Most people they'll learn this stuff and they'll just kind of throw it away. They don't even do anything with it. It's kind of annoying. So real quick, get this right. You're never going to run out of warm leads. If you get this wrong, you screw it up, your business is going to go down the toilet. We don't want to talk about that. This is the first of 5 shifts. If you guys mess it up, you guys aren't going to get a chance to mess up the other 4 because they all assume that you got this one right. We'll talk about that more as we continue going through the shifts. Let's talk about what a funnel looks like. What you're looking at here is what is the beginning of our funnel. This is going to, when we're done with this in about half an hour or so, it's going to look like a very nice funnel. You guys are going to get a picture of it. I'm going to give that to you at the end of this webinar so that you guys have that to take home with you, and it's going to look real pretty. All right, the best way to get leads is to create what's called an opt-in page. I should have put a picture of an actual opt-in page up here instead of this, but I think you guys will get the idea. An opt-in page is basically something on, it's like a page online with a form that asks for your name and email address, and then what happens is you get people that are interested in what you have. They come to your website, they give you your name and email address. You're probably very familiar with this process because you've probably done it before. That it's not like it's a brand new system. It's been around for a long time. So you get that process in motion, and then they self-submit their information to you, and then what happens is they've just given you permission to do what's called permission-based marketing, and then you can email them, which we're going to talk a little bit more about in shift number 5. Okay? Now, where's all this traffic coming from that gets people there? We're going to talk about that. Well, actually, we're going to talk about that right now. The traffic comes from different sources. You have to drive that traffic. Some of it's free, some of it's paid. You buy ads on Google or Facebook or Twitter, LinkedIn, wherever it is. Some people, if you put up enough YouTube videos and you have that much time on your hands, you can get some organic traffic over the course of like a year. But it's normally a little bit hit or miss. Normally, it's people looking for some free information. But if you have enough traffic, it can really turn into a really good lead generating system for you. So we're going to talk a little bit more about that as we come up. But here's my buddy Eric. He was in my traffic and conversion at the Traffic and Conversion Summit with me, and he was in my mastermind group. Well, Eric and I, we've been working together for a while, and we came up with a system for lead generation. So I'm going to tell you a little bit about that right now and tell you how this works. We basically created that unstoppable flow. He doesn't even look at it. He doesn't even have to drive leads or ads in order to get all these leads, and he ends up with like 70 of them every day. I wish I had a screenshot of his Aweber account because he literally gets them every day. So what I did was we talked to, like a couple of years ago, we talked about building a software app for his business, software training. It's in soccer training. So we built a software app for that, put it up online. People started buying it. We made it so it was keyword friendly so people could search for it. And then, if I can get the thing to come up, here's what okay, first of all, before I talk about the registration form, I found out after he had it up that he was getting 130 downloads per day. I was like, holy crap, you're getting what? Like, is that a month? He goes, no, that's per day. I'm getting 130 downloads on this software app every day. And I about crap myself. I said, are you getting any leads? He said, no. Well, why don't you put a registration page on your app so when people log into the app, then they have to stick their email address in and to register it. You guys have probably heard that before. That's, a lot of software is built that way. And then they can email you later down the road, which of course we'll talk about again later in shift number 5. But he put that in there, and then they put their email address in to get access. And what happens, those 130 people, the ones that were willing to put their name and email address in there to, quote, register, about 70 of them ended up actually doing that, and he ends up with 70 free leads every day. And he was, especially during soccer season, he's getting, at the peak of soccer season, he's getting like 70 to 100 leads per day. In the off season, he's still getting like 30 or 40 people every day doing that. So it worked out really well. That's a good example of an unstoppable flow of leads. So important lesson there, always be building your list. Like I said earlier, all of the shifts build on this one. If you don't have leads, you're not going to be able to follow along and get all the other parts of this. Everything works in conjunction with each other. Everything is associated with each other. So keep remembering that. Okay, shift number 2. give something away. It is much better to give something away than to receive, especially in the online world. There's a lot of skeptics out there. You have to be willing to kind of open up your hands. And I don't normally get too spiritual, but I'm going to take a minute here and just get on my spiritual bandwagon. We make a living by what we get, but we make a life by what we give, says Winston Churchill, right? So we're going to talk a little bit about what's in the world's best-selling book, the Bible. It's more blessed to give than to receive, from Acts 20:35. There's an old proverb: one man gives freely, yet gains even more. Another withholds unduly, but comes to poverty. When you guys are able to open up your hands, your heart, you guys are going to get so much more back in return. But if greed gets the best of you, you guys are going to be back at the whiteboard drawing out more funnels. This one's gotten me a lot of times. I've failed a lot of times. I am that greedy guy. Okay, it's really hard to pick up on that concept of giving away stuff. But when people are so much the skeptic online, you have to be willing to give something away. I'm not saying give away the farm. I'm not saying give away entire products. But I'm saying give away like a checklist or a resource guide. Give away something of value that's going to help them. Something that they'd be willing to give you their email address in return for, or possibly like a book. A lot of time books are used as freebies, and we might talk a little bit about that a little bit more. Okay, so let's do a recap on the funnel here, where we're at. So you got your ads. The ads go to the opt-in page. The opt-in page goes to the lead magnets. And the way that works is you have an opt-in page. You bribe people with whatever your lead magnet is. That way, when they opt in, you then send them to the lead magnet. I wish I had a little marker so I could draw on this. That's how this works. You have to give something away. So if you're not being authentic about everything that you're doing, people are going to see through you. They're going to see that you're a BSer, okay? Especially people that are into sales. All right, let's go over a quick example here. I'm from St. Augustine in Florida. I'm not actually from St. Augustine, but I do live here right now. And downtown is a very famous place. There's a lot of good, cool things going on down there. And one of the things that they have is St. George Street. St. George Street has a lot of shops. It's one of those tourist traps. You go down there, you can't get out of it, right? So I'm walking down the street, down St. George Street, and she's out there handing out pizza chunks. She's like, come over here, let me talk to you, and give you a free chunk of pizza. I'm like, okay, who's going to pass up a free piece of pizza or a free little piece of pizza, whatever. So I go over there, I check it out, and start talking to her, and it's really good pizza. And I'm like, this is great. She's like, well, great. Now, why don't you come on in? I'll get to that a little bit later in another shift. But that's a freebie. That's an example of something free. That free piece of something was valuable enough and tastes really good, so I wanted to go inside and get more. And that's going to lead into one of our other shifts coming up here in a minute. But that was kind of where I wanted to go with that, so you guys understand why that worked. If she didn't do that, if she had never done that for me, I probably would have passed her by. So if you have people that are just trying to sell you stuff or just expect you to walk in their door or just randomly find you online, it's not going to happen. You have to get out there and put yourself in front of them. You have to jump in the middle of the road and literally stand there in their way and say, come this way, park here, and come into my building. Have you guys seen those people that are out there spinning the signs? The ones that they probably get paid a few bucks an hour to stand out there and flip around and be weird, and then half of them got their cell phone up to their ear while they're not doing anything except for standing there like a lump on a log. Yeah, that's the same concept. You have to get in front of them and be there. You have to get yourself in front of the customer. That's what marketing is, okay? But the fact of the matter is, if she wasn't out there inviting people in, giving away a piece of pizza, I would have never gone in. Bottom line. So let's look at the next one. So the idea here is not to be a tightwad. Open your hand. Be generous. Remember, this is going to, again, drive right into the next few ones that we're going to be talking about. If you skip this and go straight to a larger scale, you're going to mess this up. The 5 shifts don't work unless they're working in connection with each other. All right, so number 3, we're going to make the buying decision easy. We're going to make it damn easy. We want these people to come here. Remember the pizza girl from like 5 seconds ago? Yeah, what did that piece of pizza lead into? An easy sale. Why don't you come on in and buy a piece of pizza? It's only $2. Exactly, one little piece. If you get one piece of pizza and you're hungry, you're going to go in and buy that piece of pizza for $2, and then they're going to probably talk you into buying something bigger, like an entire pizza, so that you can sit there with your girlfriend or boyfriend or your kids and gobble the whole thing down. And because they stood out there giving you that, you now have a lot of food, of course, and we'll talk about that later. But that's the basic concept of how that actually works. All right, so on the flip side, what would you say if I said that most people are just confusing their audience or their buyers, the market that they're working after? You'd probably say, yeah, that's probably true, wouldn't you? Like the pizza girl. Yeah, okay, how easy is that? Here's a piece of pizza. Come on in and buy it. It's way too easy. But most people aren't doing that. Here's a few examples of what I've seen online. A lot of these examples came from ClickBank, yeah, is that right? ClickBank. So they got all these different supposedly working funnels, but I highly doubt that every funnel on there is working really well. But this is a very sophisticated product. The niche that this is in, I think, is aviation. And if you go through here, all it is text on a page. I mean, it's actually probably fairly good copy, but the concept of the matter here, I'm saying concept, it's sitting right there in the thing. The idea is that it's just kind of boring. Who wants to read that? If you're going to put a lot of money into something, don't you want it to be real simple, real easy to read? Yeah, you probably do. Okay, so I think you guys get the point that I'm trying to make here. People just aren't putting the time and the effort and the quality into the things that they're making to make it so that it's a very easy, a very simple buying decision. You have to keep things up to date. Things should be simple. Okay, if your website doesn't look valuable, then it's not going to be perceived as valuable. And perception is reality. If your site or your sales funnel, your systems look like crap, if it has bad copy, if it's not designed well, then guess what? They're going to move on. That's a bounce. You don't want to bounce. Google doesn't like a bounce. They're going to penalize you and put you way down in the rankings. Okay? A well put together website or a sales funnel, a system, on the other hand, is going to make for a very easy sell. When you guys create proper funnels with an up-to-date video or sales page, and you have it priced appropriately and targeted appropriately, you guys are going to have easy sales. If you make an offer that your market can't refuse, and it solves a problem that your audience has, you guys are going to get the sales that you want, the sales that you need in order for your business to thrive. Okay, so let's look again here at this. You got your ads. They're going to go to an opt-in page. You're going to bribe them to get the lead magnet that we just talked about. And then what you're going to do is you're going to get an easy sell, $7 to $27 in the online world. You want to make it an impulsive buy. Okay? That's where we're going with this. The reason behind this is that they get to make a simple sale. When somebody gives you money, you change the dynamic. The relationship between you and the person that you are selling to is completely changed, and it now becomes much easier to sell to something. The hardest thing that you can do in internet marketing is get the first sale. The hardest thing that you do online or in any business is to get yourself the client. Once you have clients, they'll keep coming back to you and they'll keep buying stuff. The Pizza Girl, remember that place? I still go back to there and I still give them pizza. They don't even have to try. I just drive up to the back door and walk in and have myself sit down and ask for a place to eat. I get a pizza now. And that's how they build. That's how people build businesses. They build businesses by buying customers. Okay? Listen to what I'm about to say very closely. Your goal is not to make $1 million on your break-even funnel. It's to break even. That's what this is. It's a break-even funnel. If you guys spend $500 in ads on Google and you put them through this funnel, you guys should plan to make $500 back. I know what you guys are thinking. I didn't get into this shit to make products and work my ass off and simply break even. That's not what you guys are here for. I understand that. And don't worry, I have something for you. But for now, what you need to focus on is creating this funnel right here, what you're looking at, and breaking even. Work on breaking even. If you guys can get close to breaking even or exceed breaking even here, then you're going to make a lot of money. You have to trust me on that. But you have to follow me on shift number 4, which is coming up here in just a moment. Okay? All right. You guys ever heard of Eben Pagan? I'm not to shift 4 yet. We're still on shift 3. Have you guys ever heard of Eben Pagan? He has an alter ego. His name is David D'Angelo. He's in the dating market. He has a bunch of different products, but he also has an opt-in. He gives something away for free, and he calls it the KISS test. Okay, I'm not going to get into the details. If you want to go to doubleyourdating.com and check that out, I'm not going to make any money on it. But you go there, he gets you to opt in, he gives you a little bit of information, and then what does he do? He lays a $20 ebook in your lap and says, here, buy this. This is going to help you get benefit. And then guess what happens? It is you buy it. You think he's making money off of his $20 ebook? He actually might be, which, I mean, in the market that he's in, he actually probably has a lot more going for him than most other niches. But that being said, he doesn't really start making the real money until he starts selling his other stuff, his advanced dating techniques. He's got some other weird products that, like Mastery and some other crap, I don't know what it is. But if you go through those kinds of funnels, you're going to find out that the real money is made on the backside when you start selling products. Let's look at another one, the Pizza Girl. Okay, she gives away a chunk of pizza. We talked about that for free. Great, now what? She offers you a slice. We talked about that. Hell, why not just come in and buy the whole pie? Take that home for $15. Then you get a coupon and come back for more. You guys seeing the strategies, the secret strategies? It's like a ninja plan to make a lot of money and get you to keep on coming back. Little commitments. They build the trust. They get you. They keep you loyal that way. Let's talk about timeshares. This is a little more big ticket. How do they get you to sit in a 4-hour meeting and then buy a $20,000 piece of air? That's exactly what you're looking at here. You're basically paying for vacations, all of your vacations up front for $20,000 to $30,000, and they make you sit in a 4-hour meeting with some of the best salespeople on planet Earth. They will make you buy this, and there is no value. There is absolutely no value. Everything in it is completely intrinsic. It's all in your mind. Once you get a timeshare, you can't sell it. You're stuck with them. All right, but that aside, what do they do to get you to that point where they get you in that meeting where you buy a $20,000 piece of air? They call you. Chances are you probably stay at a hotel where it's owned by the timeshare people, whoever they are. And then what they do is they get your phone number, and then they call you on the phone like all these annoying telemarketers do. And then they'll call you up. Hey, I'd like to offer you a free vacation to Myrtle Beach, to Lake Tahoe, to the Wisconsin Dells, whatever. And then you're like, yeah, that sounds like a great idea. Who doesn't want a free vacation, right? If you're young and gullible, you're going to fall for that trick. And then they tell you the only thing you have to do is, the only thing that you have to do is sit through this 4-hour meeting, and then you come down there, and you're like, sure, whatever, I could come down and sit through a 4-hour meeting to get a 4 or 5 day free stay at wherever. I mean, who wouldn't take you up on that offer, right? So that's how that plan works. And if you ever get stuck in this scenario, just say no. Leave your credit cards, your wallet, leave your IDs, leave freaking everything that you own in the car so that you absolutely, beyond the shadow of a doubt, cannot buy a timeshare before you walk out of there. All right, let's keep on going. All right, you guys think you have it down? Are you guys getting this? What I want you guys to do is make a great offer. Make a great first offer, and don't be afraid to lose a little bit of money, because you guys are going to make it all back plus a whole lot more after you integrate what we have in store for you coming up here in shift number 4. So you guys get the idea. From now, you're going to give something away, you're going to get your lead magnet set up, you're going to sell it, you're going to make that first sale very easy. Now at this point, I promised you guys a lot of stuff. I told you that I would show you what a real funnel is. We're still building it, okay? How to look at funneling as a way to simplify and automate and scale your business. We're still building that. You guys are still getting this. All right? How to turn a profit in months rather than years. Growing your business to 20K, 50K, yeah. Okay? We're getting there. We're building this up. You guys are seeing the big picture take effect right in front of your eyes with the 5 things that you'll need to know in order to grow any business. In case you didn't figure it out, it's the 5 shifts. Okay? How to get your clients coming back to you. We're going to talk about that in shift number 5. Right now, we're on number 4. And number 4 is have more than one product to sell to your buyers. I got a little story coming up in this one. So what this basically means, you need to have your crap together before you go into this entire funnel making thing. You need to have your product built. And one of the easiest ways to build your products is to simply take what you have. Most people have some level of expertise, some level of something, some smartness, some knowledge in an area of life, and they can smartly talk about that product or that topic, and they can break it down into something and turn it into an actual digital product, audio, video, whatever. And what happens, most people devalue that product once they make it, and then I get a hold of them and I'm like, why are you selling this product for like $100? You should be selling this for like $2,000, and it's really long or something, and they're like selling this entire thing, but nobody wants to buy it. So I'm like, all right, here's what we're going to do. We're going to take this product, we're going to break it down. We're going to break chunks out of this thing. If you take a 5-module course and break it down, you've got 5 products that you can sell for like $27, and then you can upsell the whole thing for like $1,000, and then you can sell something else. Sell something else for even more money. Okay, so let's talk about Frank. Frank is he's a real person, but the name is completely made up. This is an old client of mine that I worked with and had a little bit of a rough time, so I'm not going to put a picture up or throw him under the bus, but I am going to take what we learned from an experience that we had together, and I'm going to try and impress upon you guys how important it is to have more products to sell to your audience. Okay, so let's do a little bit of gossiping. First of all, I don't want to talk about that yet. So here's the deal. Frank had one product. He was in that same exact scenario that I just talked about. Frank spent a lot of time building a product. He spent a lot of money building out a product. In fact, it was a product that he originally wanted to just give away, and he spent a lot of money. I think we just talked about that. You saw it up there, $20,000. He was going to spend the entire $20,000 on this really pimped out, super awesome video. He had a crew. He did. I'm not going to tell you what niche he's in, but he made this product look amazing. I've never seen anybody spend so much intricate, detailed time on one, but it turned out really awesome. But here's the problem. He spent way too long to do it, 9 months. Okay? He created one funnel. I helped him create that funnel, and it basically consisted of, it was like a launch. And you don't launch a lead magnet, first of all. Your launch should be something completely different. So after working with him, and the way that, and to put this into clarification, just so you know, you guys probably all know that guy that just, he wants to listen, and get advice, but he just wants to listen to himself because he has that big ego. So when you come into this, you gotta check your ego at the door. I mean, I can only tell people so much, but if they take my advice, great. If they do, great. If they don't, not so great, especially if they go and do stuff like this, where they just kind of go, yeah, I understand what you're saying, but I'm going to do it my own way because I think my own way is better. Okay? Let's talk about that. One funnel. He created one product, and it was 55 minutes in length. So you guys seeing any problems coming up with this? Okay? He wouldn't build a list from the beginning. That kind of goes back to the original building a list story. He started building his list about 9 months too late. After he built the product, then he started building the list, so the absolute first lead that he got was the day that he started to launch his product. So from January until like August or September or whatever it was, that he was working on it, he didn't have anybody. He wasn't building up the momentum. Can you imagine if like the Hunger Games was coming out and nobody ever said a word until the day that it landed in the theater? There'd be no momentum. There'd be no anticipation. So that's the problem, number one, that we had leading into this. So he opens up the cart to this thing, and he's sitting there staring at the screen all day long, wondering why are no sales coming in? There were no sales coming in. I said, of course there's no sales coming in. You could have spent the last 9 months building like 5,000 to 10,000 leads instead of spending all that money on your video, on your product, on the way this whole thing looks. It really didn't need to look that great, and so that was a problem. Okay, so he spent 2 months afterwards doing Facebook ads and launching and building a list all at the same time, when he could have been doing those not concurrently, but doing those on a more linear fashion. So he went balls to the wall, spent a lot more money on that. I think he spent $2,000 in ad spend on Facebook. He was spending $25 a day over the course of 2 months. I don't know what that comes out to, but whatever it was around $2,000. And the only reason that he was spending $25, that's the minimum amount of money that you have to spend in order to have a Facebook ad rep. I don't know how I still to this day don't know how he got that Facebook ad rep, but he knows a lot of people in high places. So can you imagine how much he made on this? Take a big guess. Take a big wild guess based on what I've told you. Take yourself a knowledgeable guess. $2,200. So he spent $2,000 in ads and he made $2,200. Does that sound familiar? Does that sound like almost break even or a little bit more? Okay, two things about that. One, that's really good. He broke even on his first product, on the first thing that he was selling, on his ad spend. And I told you already, if you can break even on your ad spend, then you're good to go. You're going to make a lot of money. You have a winning concept. You've proven a concept, and you have a ticket to print money. You can make a lot of money in this fashion. So that was the good side of the problem. There's also a bad side of this coin, okay? Besides the fact that he only made $200 and spent $20,000, so he was really in the hole like $19,800 at this point. But the other bad side of this was the fact that he didn't have another product. What did I just tell you? This whole shift, this whole story leading up to this was about the fact that you need to have more than one thing to sell. Okay? Could you imagine if he'd broken this product down, like I said he should have done in the first place, or if he'd even, built another product, if he had something else to sell, he could have had 2 upsells on this whole process, and he could have made a buttload of money. Instead of being break even, he could have been running out of the gate a $10,000 a month or more, $10,000 to $15,000 a month business. But instead, he spent 9 months and $20,000 to build one product, when it really, really, really did not need to do that. So let's talk a little bit more about how that funnel looks. At this point, a quick recap. You got your ads that you're spilling into you're sending them over to a lead page or an opt-in page there, and then you're bribing them, you're getting them to give you something, you're giving them something, and then you get them to buy something. Now, it says $7 to $27. Now, this guy that I was talking about, Frank, he had a product that he tested. I made him test the product prices anywhere between $99 and $400. The thing actually sold at $200 out of the gate, $200. That was really cool. So at $200, he had himself an impulse buy. That's pretty cool. Okay, so imagine the core product could have easily been $1,000, and then he could have upsold something else for $2,000. So it would have only taken him 5 big sales every month to make $10,000 or $20,000. He really wouldn't have needed a lot of that. So even at that point, you can do another upsell like this one here, impulse buy, core product sale, and then an upsell. That's your basic funnel. We're still not done with this. I'm going to come back to it in shift number 5 and show you even more about this. What I want you to take away from this is how easy it really is to make a product. Instead of spending $20,000 over the course of 9 months, you could build a $99 product in a day. So spend most of your time making presentations. I know that sounds like hell. I know nobody wants to do that. So if you have to outsource that part, get an outline down, get something on paper so that somebody else can build those slides if you don't want to build them. But remember, you're the one that has to give that presentation. So if somebody else puts it together and you don't want to present it the way that they put it together, you're just going to have to redo it. Almost everything up to the upsell can be created this way. You just create more of it. Okay? So the impulse buy might be a little piece or a part. It might solve one problem. The core product might solve a bigger problem, a core problem that they have to get taken care of, and the upsell might take them to a whole nother level. Okay, if this guy's ready and willing and able to do this, 1 out of 10 people are going to take that upsell, take this entire funnel with them. Okay, 1 out of 10 people. So if you sell 10 impulse buys, you're going to get at least 1 person taking the second core product, at least 2 people taking that core product, and 1 person will probably take that upsell. Okay? I know that's hard to take in. I know it doesn't make a ton of sense, but as you continue doing all of this, the math will, in average statistics in internet marketing, as long as your sales copy is good, the quality of your website, if you make everything easy, you build this funnel out exactly the way that I'm talking about, you have that unstoppable flow of leads, you will get 1 in 10 people will take your upsell at $1,000, or maybe you have a $2,000 upsell. Frank should have had a $2,000 upsell, but he didn't. So those 5 people, those 10 people that he could have been selling to, the $20,000 business that he could have had right out of the gate that would have been obscenely awesome to see that happen, it didn't happen because he didn't. I'm going to get into more about that, and I'm going to tell you what happened to Frank here in a little bit. But the bottom line is that you guys have to make more products. In shift number 5, I'm going to get you guys the punchline on Frank's story, where he ended up. And I already told you guys how easy it was to make products. Okay, if you think that they're hard to make, or you think that you need to spend a lot of time and money on them, it's just bad thought. It just needs to be reframed. That's all. Okay, so shift number 5. Let's talk about this real quick. Never ever stop communicating with your audience. You have a tribe. You have people that care about you, and people that you should probably care about. You have people that are willing to basically follow you into battle, and they look up to you, so they want to hear from you, especially if they buy from you. Okay, never stop communicating with your people. All right, you need to stay in contact. If you build a following, don't let them down. Email them, offer them stuff, give them value, stay in touch. I know it's a little cliche, but with great power comes great responsibility. I wish I had a I wish I had a slide for that. But it's simple. Just be there for your people. If they buy something from you, be there even more for them. Once you guys have that following, this is what will create your dream life. Not hard selling, not spamming, not running ads all the time. It's staying engaged. It's sending emails. It's putting up a post on your personal Facebook page every day to communicate with your friends. It's putting up a post every day in your groups, on your fan pages. Okay? But stop connecting with them. Watch what happens. My dentist told me one time, and it applies quite well here. He said, if you ignore them, referring to your teeth, of course, they'll go away. If you ignore them, they'll go away. Teeth, customers, whatever. They won't stick around. You'll be starting back from ground zero again. And I've done this. I've failed at this. I've seen what happens. I've seen my clients, what happens to them when they stop communicating. Eventually, you get it. You're like, okay, I got to write emails. I have to make autoresponder sequences. I get it. It just comes down that way. So you guys have already seen this. I just went through this. I think you guys get the idea. You want to drive people through the funnel. Thankfully, once it's all created, all you have to do is drop people into the top part of that by buying ads or being cool on social media, whatever, and then they kind of self-propel themselves through the creation that you've already made. It should be automated at this point. Once they opt in, they're going to be on your email list, allowing you to email them. Okay, you can also stay in touch on social media with your prospects and with your customers. Okay, the beauty of this is that once you build these assets, you can now send people to a new opt-in page or existing opt-in pages through those through those mediums. You can send them direct your lead magnets if you desire. This is a good way to build credibility, to deliver value, and use one of Robert Cialdini's tactics, law of reciprocity. Okay, have an offer they didn't buy after they opted in. Instead of losing them forever, you can just send them back to the sales page for your initial low-cost offer. Okay, if they're not biting on the low-end offers, pitch the line out there a little bit further. Maybe get a core product sale. Invite people to webinars. Hold an event online. Once you guys get people on the webinar, you can build your authority. You can do that you can build your authority literally through the roof in like 40 to 60 minutes. And when you've done that, once you have that authority, it now allows you to sell at a higher price, like $1,000 or $2,000, whatever it is. You can even go for the high prices like I just said. And so, if you guys stop doing these things, here's what's going to happen. You're going to be stuck out in the boat like this guy. It's called being dead in the water. Only it's worse. It's like you just ran out of gas. You don't have any place to go. You know. And if you run out of gas, if you're really out in a boat and you're just stuck out there, most people carry around like an extra gas can so they can fill up their gas tank. It's just being lazy. It's like being stuck out there and not going down to get that, and you're just like, I think I'm just going to aimlessly drift out to sea. It's one of those things. So let's talk real quick. I got a good story and I got a bad story. We're going to wrap this up here as quick as possible. First, the bad story, what happened to Frank, because I know you guys want to hear that. On top of all the crap that he did wrong before, he wasn't staying in touch with his new followers. So shift number 5, like I said, always stay in contact. He refused to stay in contact. I told him to write emails. I told him to write posts. I said, just do one a week. That's all I want from you. Just say hello. I don't care what you say. But send something the hell out. That's all I wanted him to do. Do a post once a week on your Facebook page. He wouldn't do it. Problem was he wanted everything to be perfect. And he ended up just kind of doing nothing because it was like perfection paralysis. Because in his mind, perfection took longer than a day, held longer than a year. So he just didn't do anything. Kind of drove me insane. But what ended up happening, obviously, here is that he went back to a normal job. That was kind of the demise of Frank. So, like I said, guys, all he needed was to spend a couple more weeks or a couple more months maybe making a couple more good products and get those racked out. He already had everything that he needed. He already had the scripts made. He had everything that he needed in order to make it work. All he needed was a couple more products and to stay in touch. He had all the other shifts right, almost. He had a product, he had a good lead he had a good lead magnet, he was giving something away for free, but he didn't have the list, he wasn't building a list, he didn't have that automated flow of traffic. Number 4, he didn't have more products to sell, and then he wasn't communicating. So guess what happened? His business fizzled out. He ended up going back to work. Okay? So let's talk about the good story. This here is Ron. When I met him, he was selling a course in the HVAC training network. He was doing pretty good. I mean, he was in the midst of actually quitting his job, which is like a huge milestone, especially for an entrepreneur. When they could quit their regular job, that's amazing. So congrats to you, Ron, for that. But he wasn't really emailing anybody at the time. Every bit of money that he came from was from doing manual labor. Basically, nothing was automated. So everything he did, if he was sending any emails, he was doing it manually, and he was doing everything at social media, where he was getting people to webinars. Everything was coming from an organic traffic source. So, and what we did was set up some automated sequences. We got more people to show up to his webinars, which were and still are actually is converting at a really high rate, phenomenally high rate. We also put his sequences, we set them up to run once a day instead of once a week. Just a few ones, just getting more people to show up and then getting people there every day, like increased his conversion rate, and it also increased his overall return on investment, how much money he was making every month. He went from, actually, I'm not going to talk about his specifics, but he basically 6x'd his business, 6 times his business. So bottom line, proud to say I had the opportunity to work with Ron. It's an example of keeping things simple, being humble, and just plain getting it done. So hats off to you, Ron. All right. Here's what I want you guys to do. I want you to set up an automated email program, Aweber, Constant Contact, whatever it is that you guys want to go out and get. After you guys collect your leads and your buyers, I want you to stay in touch with them. It's not that hard. It's really simple. There's a little bit of tech stuff involved with that. You can connect your lead page, your opt-in page, to your autoresponder sequence. That's the point at which they start getting emails, when they initially opt in. Okay? But it's the one thing that stops most people from becoming the internet marketer, the business owner that they want to be. It's this part. This is the easiest way to self-sabotage. It's just simply falling out of touch with your people. And if you do that, your business is going to go to crap. I really don't have any other better way to say that. So real quick, I told you guys I'd teach you guys what a funnel was. I think you guys understand that. Here's a picture of it. That's what your funnel looks like. I think it's pretty simple. I think I simplified it as much as I could. I'm going to try and get a screenshot of that. I'll send it to you guys after the webinar. How to look at funneling as a way to simplify. I know there was a lot going on. There's a lot going on there. That's why I try to take the time to teach you guys exactly what's inside and how to use that. This is there to simplify, to automate, and help you scale your business. Once you get that created, all you have to do is literally focus on the front side of that and drop ads into it, and then do your job, whatever it is that you're doing. All you have to do is deliver on your promise. I told you guys I would teach you how to get more leads, what to do with them once you have them. You want to email them, keep them loyal, keep them coming back, stay at the top of their mind. How to turn a profit in months. I think if you put this into action, you're going to have exponential growth in your business. I'm going to show you 5 things you'll never need to grow any business. I think you guys get that, the 5 things. I'm going to go back over them here in just a second. What I do. How to get your clients coming back to you week after week. Of course, that's emails as well. So here's what you guys need: an automated and unstoppable, very consistent flow of leads, just like Eric had. He had that app. It was getting leads every day. He has 70 leads that come in. He doesn't even have to pay for them. Okay? Give something away. Find something simple, something easy, something valuable, something you can give away. Make that buying decision really easy for your people. Okay, whoever's coming to your website, whoever's coming there, make it a simple decision. Make it stupid not to buy. Okay, like that piece of pizza. It was stupid for me to not go in there and pay $2. All right, 4, have more than one product to sell. Don't be frank. All right, have more than one thing ready to go. If they buy one thing, they're probably going to want more, because you're going to solve a problem. You're going to create another. You're going to solve one problem, and at the same time, you're probably going to create more. So you got to be able to solve those with another product. All right, number 5, never stop communicating. Get them on an email address. Get them on an email list and keep communicating with them. Number 6, I got another one for you coming up. You guys ready for this? I want you guys to find a mentor. I want you guys to find somebody that you trust, somebody that you believe can help you make the money that you want to make in your business. Find somebody that's smarter than you. Find somebody that can take you guys to the next level. That's one of the biggest things that you guys can do in your business besides those 5 shifts. Okay? These 5 shifts alone, these 5 shifts that I just told you, these 5 things are the gaps that fill the educational holes that are out there. Okay? They will propel you to six figures a year as long as you put them together, like compounding interest. As long as you do these in conjunction with each other, it's like constantly adding in chemical elements. I think I told you that before. That when in rapid succession, they're going to allow that pot to boil to the point of an exotic eruption of leads and sales. What really pushed me over the edge, though, was the sixth shift, finding a mentor. I'm not talking about hanging out in masterminds online, casually talking to friends. I mean an actual mentorship where you're hanging out with somebody, you're there with them, you talk to them on the phone, from once or twice a week. Having a dedicated coach that digs into your deepest problems helps you to unscrew them. Somebody that can keep you on track. Okay, it's all about the unbiased eye. When you guys work with somebody like that, then you take your feet off the brakes, and it allows you to propel yourself forward. It's like going from a Ford Escort to a brand new Beamer, and not a shitty one either. Okay, so listen, I just taught you guys all this stuff, and now you guys have a choice. You can take all this information that I've given you, and you can just forget about it, and it can be just that, a nice webinar, some entertainment for the day. And if you do that, you're going to stay stuck exactly where you're at right now. You know why you came here today. You came here for a reason. I believe it's because you know that your business or a portion of your business isn't working. So you have a choice. You can take this information and you can ignore it. You can take the ideas and you can do nothing with it. You can stay stuck right where you're at for the next 5 years, the next 10 years. You can continue to struggle until your business literally collapses on you. Or if you want to take your business to the next level, if you want this to be the year that you finally create a 5 or 6 figure monthly income for yourself while you see your clients getting amazing results right in front of your eyes, while you experience all the freedom and the joy and the passion that comes from knowing that you are making a difference in the world, doing something that you love, if that's something that you want, then here's what I have for you. My team and I, we've set aside some time in the next couple days to speak to you personally about how you can apply these ideas to your business starting today. Now, get this. This is damned important, so listen up. I just showed you guys how this is done in very broad terms. I gave you these 5 big shifts, but the truth is everyone's business is different, and you need to know how to apply these shifts to your business individually. So if that's what you want to do, we're more than happy to get on the phone with you and explain exactly what the steps are for you to do that. Now, the cost of doing this is absolutely free. We do this totally free of charge, but here's the catch. This isn't for everybody, okay? We don't want to do this for everybody. I know that sounds bad, but it's true because, quite simply put, there's a lot of what I would call leeches out there, people that like to waste other people's time and then not do anything with the information that they just learned. Or worse yet, and this is my favorite, they go validate that free information that they just got with a paid consultation. That's a slap in the face, especially for somebody that's being generous, okay? That being said, you're still here, and that means something to me. So I want to get on the horn and help you to get clear about where you are heading with your business. But to be very blunt, I need you to come to my roundtable with a few expectations. I'm going to give you guys some high-level strategies, and they might involve you doing things that you're not used to, okay? Maybe like running ads or something. I'm going to push you to do things that quite possibly no one else in your life has ever pushed you to do, like shutting off your TV. Okay? Recently, I just shut my TV off. I said, I've had enough TV. I can't do this anymore. I need to focus on my business. If you're not willing to shut your TV off and get some work done, then guess what? I can't help you. I help people that need my advice and are willing to put that advice into immediate action. There are people dying to get help building their businesses and just want to make sure that they're doing it right. They just need a push in the right direction. I expect your undivided attention, and I expect you to be open to new ideas, and I expect you to be coachable. I expect that you have a level of expertise in some area of life, a skill, a trade, a hobby, something, some level of knowledge that you can monetize. And you have to be genuine. You don't have to be a straight shooter, but you've got to be real, authentic. In other words, you can't be fake. Most preferably, if you have prior data, analytics, P&L statements, anything, bring that with you. That's going to help us out a lot on these calls. Speaking of the call, here's what's going to happen when we actually get on the call. I'm going to help you guys get total clarity about exactly what you want your business to look like and the exact steps that you should take to achieve your goals. The first step to any business is ensuring a solid vision, not only for yourself, but for your business and for the clients and the customers that you serve. In the next few months, I'm going to be rolling out my new 12-week intensive mentorship program. I said earlier there's nothing for sale, and there's not. The group right now is full up, okay? If you want us to help you, if you believe that I can help take you to the next level in your business, and if we think that it's a good fit, well, we just might invite you to an upcoming mentorship group. I would love to have you guys in one. Okay, I'd love to help take you guys to the next level. It's a group where you guys can get the personal and private attention that you need in order to grow your business to $20,000 a month, to $30,000 a month, maybe even $50,000 a month. I'm going to put you guys through the exact same training that we put our highest level students through. The curriculum is designed to get your business to $10,000 net a month in less than 3 months. From there, you guys scale up. Okay, keep in mind, this is not a done-for-you solution. I'm going to do the best that I can to help you guys. I'm going to hold your hand the best that I can. I'm going to make sure you guys have the right contacts, the right resources, the right knowledge to make 6 or 7 figures a year. But it really is up to you guys. It's your responsibility. You guys want health and abundance? This is how you guys do it. Quite specifically, we're gonna dig in deep. I'm going to get crystal clear on the price that you should be charging. I'm going to be able to see exactly what you guys should be charging when I see what you guys have. I'd say over 80% of the people that I talk to really don't have a clue what to charge. They don't know what they really have on their shoulders here, or even what their product should look like. Well, we're going to help you guys get clear on your target market. We're going to help you understand exactly what your products need to look like. Okay, we're going to help you understand what you need to help you get clear on how to get those products created, how to package up your current products. Last but not least, we're going to help you guys get clear on exactly how you will reach your market. Okay, so you guys should see a link that's here on the page now. I want you guys to go ahead and click on that, where you can actually go to my application page, which is here, guidanceplease.com/apply. Like I said, you could just click on the link here, and it'll open up in a new window. Space truly is limited. That's not a joke. So go here now if you guys want to continue listening and you guys want to click the link. Like I said, it'll open up in a new window, so you guys won't be taken away from here. Also, I promised you guys the notes from today's webinar and the 3K case study with Eric. And if you guys would like to peruse the notes, you guys find those on the download links, or I'm sorry, on the download page, the application page, when you click on that. So go to the same place, scroll down at the bottom. You guys are going to find the links to get the PDFs, the reports, the funnel diagrams, everything that I told you guys would get if you guys sat through this long webinar. And of course, don't forget to schedule your call with me while you're there if you fall into the category of what we just talked about on this. So while you guys are doing that, I wanted you guys to hear about Eric's story. I talked about him. He's a guy from TNC. He's also the guy that had the software app. It gets like 70 downloads every day. He's one of my clients. He's become a pretty good friend along the way. We work together. We're not actual business partners, but we do a lot of stuff together. And he did write this into me. He said, Matt, one of the greatest things that I've ever done since starting this journey was develop my relationship with Matt King. I guess it's in the third person, and his wife Karen. His mentorship changed my life. I remember having 0 leads, nobody to sell to. Matt was working on a new strategy at the time and offered it up. After taking advantage, I implemented this strategy once, and now I have over 21,000 subscribers that cost me almost next to nothing. He sharpshoots my sales copy, my funnels, almost every decision I make. And put a caveat on that, I don't sharpshoot his stuff, I critique it. Almost every decision I make. And because of that, I've learned to stand on my own 2 feet as an internet marketer, which is what I do. I've turned nothing into something and implemented his teachings, his advice, and I've since turned a 21,000 person list into a raving fan community and a private fishing pond that I can go to time and again to create near passive income whenever I want. Do other people know these strategies? Probably. I guarantee it. But why go to them when I can go to Matt and Karen? Okay, very kind words. I'm really happy to have heard Eric write these things in and say very kind words. Hopefully we're going to get some more of those in here as we continue building out these brand new mentorship programs. We want to help take you guys to the next level. We'd love to get you guys on a call and see where we can take you guys, see if we can take you guys to the next level with your business. Like I said, We're here for you. I really care a lot more about my clients most of the time than I do my own work. So if I can get a hold of you guys, I could probably turn you guys into a pretty good, successful business. Just like I said, make sure you come to the table with everything I talked about earlier. Make sure you come to the table with a product, an idea, know who your market is. I mean, we'll get you clearer on that, but it really helps if you have a pretty good idea of where that's coming from. There's a link on this page. Go ahead and click on that if you haven't already, and pick up the free stuff that I talked to you about, and apply it while you're there. Apply to do a phone call. It's actually just a schedule. You go in and just get onto my scheduler and just find a space within the next few days, and I'll get on the phone with you. Like I said, space is limited, so get on there and do that as quickly as you can. I've only got so much time. I only do calls with folks in the mornings, and they're normally about 45 minutes to an hour. So you can imagine I can fit about 3 or 4 of them in. So you do the math. You guys jump on there as quick as you can and rack up that time slot, and I will talk to you guys soon. You can ask me all the questions that you'd like when you get there, okay? I'll talk to you guys soon.